Hey everyone, welcome back. Camille and James here, 88 Fitness Training. Today we are going to explore maximum muscle growth by incorporating looped resistance bands with traditional classic bodybuilding exercises. So if you've ever wondered how to efficiently use these bands and incorporate it into your workout, stay tuned. We got a super duper looper video coming for you. So looped bands, this is a great way to add extra intensity into your traditional exercises, for the entire body. But before we jump into exactly how to use that and do some demonstrations, I just want to talk a little bit about the difference between a looped band and a traditional tube band, which James is holding. So now these, you'll usually find them at the gym, at the Planet Fitness area. They're usually in like the jungle gym kind of ab stretching area. They come in different thicknesses, which changes the resistance. So the thicker one of these looped bands is, for instance, this one's really thick. This is like a 15 or a 50 pound versus like a 20 pounder. So they have varying levels of resistance. They're also really good and versatile. So you'll find, because they're closed loop like this, you can do them for just about every body part. And that's different than what James is holding. So you want to talk a little bit about tube bands?
We got the tube band here, and as you can see, the distinct difference is it's open, it's not a closed circle. That's number one. Number two, you got handles on this one. So a couple of differences. It makes it easier to do upper body with this, but harder to do legs.
Yeah, if you ever try to do some leg curls with that, it's a challenge. You gotta get pretty creative, y'all.
And it's just like the super bands. The thicker you get, the harder it is. The resistance changes. So when you pick your band out, just remember, the skinnier, the easier, the fatter, the harder.
Absolutely. All right, so that's the difference between a loop band and your traditional tube resistance band. There are a lot of benefits to training with a looped resistance band, including increased muscle activation, variable resistance, which is huge, probably the top benefit to this, as well as the versatility. So today in the video, I'm going to demonstrate different dumbbell variations that incorporate this, and James will do the barbell equivalents. So let's jump right in. We're going to start with a simple dumbbell chest press. And when you think of the dumbbell chest press, it's usually hard in that bottom range of the motion. And then once you get past that sticking point, it's pretty easy to press the rest of the way. So by adding the band, you're able to do variable resistance. We're able to make it tough through the entire range of motion, which is why you're getting so much more muscle activation and why you're able to maximize your gains. All right, so for a dumbbell chest press, let me show you a simple setup for this. We're just gonna loop it underneath the bottom part of the bench. So just lift up a corner, and this might be a little different just depending on what you have available to you. So something just like that. All right, and then from there, we're gonna take our dumbbell and we're just gonna stick one of them through. So just like this. There you go, you can set that aside. Oop. And then the other side. All right, and then we're gonna lay back on the bench. This one popped out. All right, so you're just gonna grab it on either side, just like this. Now, as I come up, it gets increasingly harder, because that's the benefit to this loop band. The more you stretch it out, the harder it is at the top. So you can go ahead and get your reps in, and you're guaranteed that all of them are going to be super challenging in a new way, especially if you're not used to doing resisted chest presses. So just like that, there you have it. So just get a close-up of the setup again. You really just want to loop that band however you need to. Have it equal on both sides, put the dumbbells through. There you go, you have it. Dumbbell chest press with a resistance loop band.
All right, so Camille just showed you the dumbbell chest press. Now I'm going to show you the incline barbell chest press. So we'll show you the setup first. This one's pretty easy, pretty simple. You loop it around the bar, just like so. Then you're going to go under your bench, like so, and then come around and catch the other barbell, just like that. You can see it's pretty tight, so we got some pretty good resistance on here right now. And what it does, Camille already talked about the variable resistance. It makes it harder as you go up because the band gets harder as you stretch it out. So there's not much stretch on that band down here, but as you push up, the band gets harder. And as you push up, the resistance gets more. So there's less resistance here and more resistance here at the top, just like so. It's an old powerlifting technique, really, to get past sticking points, because like she said, a lot of people get sticking points. This will get harder as you push up so that you get more resistance as you go up higher, just like so. To me, this one's a lot easier setup and a lot easier to do than the dumbbell version, but each one is good. Each one will get you the gains. Each one will get you the variable resistance. All right. After the chest presses, we're going to show you some barbell row movements, some dumbbell row movements, right? First, we'll show you the setup. Get a band here. I don't know if you guys have seen the power racks, but they have these pegs at the bottom. There's some different uses for the pegs. Number one is for the bands, right? That's what we're going to use them for today. You just hook it there, put it over your barbell, and then hook it here. Now you got resistance with the band and your weights. All right, we're gonna do barbell rows. So you step back, hinge at your hip, and row. And just like all these exercises, it's gonna be harder up here than it is down here because that band has that extra resistance and makes it harder as you pull up, just like so. You want to get a weight and a band where you can do 6 to 10 reps and make sure you can get that contraction there still. If you can't, it's too heavy, it's too hard, lighten the band or lighten the weight. All right, banded rows.
I'll show you the dumbbell equivalent to that. So we're going to take our band, we're going to loop it underneath each foot. You can kind of pull some slack in the middle there. All right, we're going to get into single arm dumbbell row stance, which is like this. You always want this nice secure base. We're going to take our dumbbell, put it on the floor underneath that band, like this. All right, and then we're just going to pull up and row. You can see it gets slack at the bottom, but it gets really challenging at the top. So this is a great exercise. I mean, I probably would prefer the barbell version, but let's say you're like at a hotel gym and they only have dumbbells that go up to a certain weight. That's where you can easily pack these bands in your luggage and get it in. It's gonna make it tough, so you're not just stuck at going up to 50 pounds or whatever it is. You can add that variable resistance to get more out of it at the top end. So that's the basic setup. Show you one more time. Just tuck it under your foot. You're gonna step on it, get into that nice staggered stance, just like that. Grab your dumbbell and row. And then of course, switch sides, switch feet, get the other side, train evenly, just like that. There you have it.
Oh, but wait, we got one more bonus coming, right? All right, we got another back arm. We're gonna show you a dumbbell pullover, which is a back muscle, lat muscle, anterior serratus muscle. All right, so your setup, you're gonna anchor yourself here. This one you're gonna tie off. I call it tie off. You just tuck it in and then tighten it up down there and then slide it over your dumbbell, just like so. Now you're set up. Get yourself in position. Grab the dumbbell and then slide yourself back onto the bench. There you go. Now you're pulling over, just like so. You want to stretch down here, stretch those lats, and then pull them up and squeeze with the lats. You're going to get a lot of chest movement on this as well, but it's primarily a lat movement. And just like all the rest of them, it's easy here, but by the time you get to here, and then the contraction part, holy smokes, is that hard. Wow, that's the point of the band. That's the variable resistance, right? That's why you do it, to make it hard at the top, just like so. All right, bonus back move, banded dumbbell pullover. All right, y'all, we're rolling on with the band resistance exercises. We're gonna do barbell curls next. Camille called me out for using the skinny one, so we're gonna step it up and try to use the green one here. But you can see I don't have any weight on the barbell right now. All right, so barbell curls, the same setup as the rows. Put it on the peg there, go over your barbell, and then peg here. Pretty easy setup. A lot easier than the chest press in my opinion. Once you got it set up, then you're gonna do your curls. Oh yeah, that's definitely hard. It's pretty easy till about here, and then up here, wow, that's hard. Really hard at the top. Ooh, pretty good one. If you've never done banded exercises, this one's a good one. Ooh, 6 to 10 reps. I'm not sure I can get 10 of these, but I can definitely get 6. Going up to the band, bigger band, and they got them bigger than this, harder than this, so this is only one step up from the skinniest one. So believe me, it doesn't take a lot. And if I didn't have a bigger band and I was using the skinny one still, I would just put weight on the bar, right? So check your setup, check your weights, and check your bands. All right.
So the dumbbell equivalent to bicep exercise, you're gonna low anchor the band somewhere. We can put it right here. All right, we're just gonna set our dumbbells inside. Now this particular variation, I'm gonna do facing this dumbbell stack. So take a step back, get that tension, come up, squeeze. This is easy till right about here, very difficult at the top end. And that's really where you lose the tension on the bicep curl, you know? So for example, if I were just to pull this out of here, like from here to here, I feel it, and then it's easy. There's slack at the top. So go ahead, stick it in there, grab these, just like that. Woo! I only got 10 pounds, y'all. Like I usually curl with the 30s, and this is kicking my butt. Oh yeah. You can even slow down, do some negatives. Woo! All right, there you have it. The only thing with this, as you come up, because this band's kind of sticking through your webbing, it does irritate it a little bit. So if that is bothering you, try the barbell or even an easy bar where you have a center mounted band. That way it's not rubbing on your fingers. But really nasty bicep pump there. Like just doing that, I'm like, yeah, they look bigger. Definitely a great way to maximize those gains. All right, y'all, let's go ahead and move to shoulders. So I'm gonna show you how you can do a dumbbell shoulder press. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna step on this band. You're gonna hook it like underneath your thumbs, grab your dumbbells, just like that, straight up. Same thing, the higher up I go, the harder it is. The more I need to also control it on the negative portion, down, because that band wants it to just come down pretty quick. So up, squeeze, pressing, just like this. All right, you got the idea. James is gonna show you next how to set up the barbell for this.
So Camille showed you the dumbbell overhead press version. I'm gonna show you the barbell overhead press version. These look different, they're just two different brands. They're the same size, same resistance. So they are the same even though they're different colors, y'all. So your setup is pretty simple. You just go on your peg there and then on your barbell here. Just like that. And then obviously you're gonna do the same thing on the other side as well. Just like that. Now you're set up, you're in position. If you wanted to do these seated, you just put your bench in here and do them seated. You're gonna have a little bit of problem with resistance at the bottom if you do these seated though. You're probably gonna go flat. All right, so we're set up, just like so, straight overhead, and then back down. Hat got in the way a little bit there. Now you can see I'm a little bit shaky. Those are my stabilizer muscles. Because I'm not used to doing band work, my stabilizers are kicking in to stabilize the bar and the weight because they're not used to the bands there. Another benefit of using bands. Again, it's harder at the top, than it is at the bottom. And just like Camille said, keep your delts engaged on the negative, because those bands really want to pull that down, make you want to drop the weight. But don't do that. Keep constant tension on the positive and the negative. All right.
So like we mentioned in the beginning, loop bands lend themselves to doing lower body exercises a lot better than tube bands with the handles. So I'm going to show you a couple different variations with the dumbbells, and then James will show you a barbell one. Alright, so I'm going to show you a goblet squat. And alright y'all, like goblet squats get bad rap just because a lot of times when you're trying to progressively overload, you're like, you can lift more with a barbell than a dumbbell. So what are you doing, right? But if you add the resistance, you're adding a whole different type of metabolic stress to your body that you wouldn't have. So, alright, we're going to go ahead. You're going to loop this band under each foot, just like that. We're going to come over. You're going to put it around your dumbbell, and then you can pick it up. You're going to squat low and up. So, higher I get, the harder it is to get to the top in this goblet squat. It makes it a whole nother level of difficulty, y'all. So I get it. Let's say you've been doing this for a while. Goblet squats are easy. We'll add that band, and that's a great way to be able to progressively overload and make it really challenging for you. All right, banded goblet squats.
All right, we're set up, so let's get right into it now here. Squats. If you want big legs, you better squat. Go down just like traditional squat, and then straight back up. Just like the rest of them, there isn't much resistance at the bottom, but man, as you come up, bam, that really hits it. If you got a sticking point at the top of your squat, this is how you're going to get past that sticking point, just like so. This is a killer, and you see I don't even have any weight on the barbell right now, and I can feel this working. All right, barbell squats, bam, barbell squats. All right, y'all, so we showed you all the exercises. You know how to use the bands, so let's talk about the benefits. The number one benefit, we've been talking about this whole video, the variable resistance.
Yes.
It cuts dead space, you have constant resistance, and as you go along your range of motion, the further you go, the harder it gets. The more resistance you get, the more weight it is, because you're stretching the band out further and further as you go, making it harder. It's a great technique to get past sticking points. It's a great technique to get stronger. It's a great technique to kill any dead space in your exercise. It's the number one benefit of the band.
Absolutely. Number two is just muscle activation. Because of how many stabilizer muscles you have to incorporate with using the band, you're getting a lot of extra muscle activation, and you'll feel it. If you try this for the first time, there's a lot of instability as you're trying to chest press or squat. Like you can feel your muscles shaking as you're trying to stabilize and brace to account for this extra resistance at the different ranges of motion in the exercises. So
100%. I do bands maybe once a quarter, and I still feel my stabilizers every time I do them, because I only do them once a quarter. If I did them more often, it wouldn't happen as much, but if you don't do them very often, you're going to feel those stabilizers.
Absolutely. Number three, I would say time under tension. Because you have that variable resistance, now you're under load for longer in the exercise. So, we've talked about bicep curls. You get to a certain point and it's dead space, right? So now instead of having that dead space, we're under load that entire way up and that entire way down, even at the bottom at dead hang. So that's a huge advantage over just doing the typical dumbbell or barbell exercise.
Yeah, on top of that, you're really going to have to pay attention to your negative, because that band is going to want to snap it back down. Your overhead press, your chest press is going to snap it back down. You're going to have to fight that negative, whereas a free weight, you can just let it drop. You shouldn't, but you can just let it drop.
Right.
This thing, if you let it drop, it's going to snap back. You're not going to let it drop because it will snap back.
I mean, I think that's one of the great things about using the looped band. It's just you're creating that metabolic stress like in a different way that you wouldn't be able to with just the barbell or the dumbbell alone. And that's why they help to maximize gains, to maximize muscle hypertrophy. And that's why we're here. That's what this channel is all about. Last thing I would say, benefit number 4 is just the versatility. I just kind of talked about it during my workout. Let's say you're at Planet Fitness and they only go up to 50, or you're at the hotel gym and they only have 25 pounds. Well, just pack one of these in your luggage, and now, hey, you've made it a new way to be challenging for yourself. You're not limited by the size dumbbell or barbell setup that you have.
Sure. On top of that, if you've been working out 100 years like I have, you throw the bands in there to change it up. Gives you a little fresh, something different, something exciting, something new. It just changes it up, adds a different resistance, etc., etc.
Yeah, I guarantee you're gonna be like, oh my gosh, like this is like lifting for the first time. Yes. You're gonna know.
If you haven't used the bands before, you are definitely gonna know it.
All right, y'all. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. We took you through several exercises for chest, for back, biceps, legs. So definitely work these in, give it a try, but it's a great way to explore and try to maximize muscle growth and challenge yourself in a new way. So definitely check out our channel, check out our playlist. I don't know, I guess this would be a total body playlist.
Gym equipment.
Yeah, gym equipment playlist. Check that out. Also catch us on live every Sunday, 12 Eastern. Great opportunity to interact with James and I, ask any questions you have. All right, James and Camille, 88 Fitness Training.